A lot of cameras.
Can you just break down the process from how you got connected with Zach to how you ended up joining the staff in the role that they hadn't previously had?
Yeah, just I know Dan really well, and Dan, and I have stayed in touch over the last couple of years. So, just really look forward to this opportunity, and we're really happy to be here. And it's been a fun time so far at the combine, and getting going through free agency and the draft, and look forward to getting started when we get back.
Sort of the dumbest question here. Yeah, what does the passing game coordinator do? I mean, what offensive coordinators do? But
Yeah, we're
still. Is it game plan specific? Is it schematics? Is it a little bit of everything?
Yeah, we're still working through all that. We have, it's a great staff here. So just really look forward to getting back to Cincinnati next week, and moving forward and getting ready for the off season as we get through the draft. But yeah, we're still kind of working through all that. I just know it's a great staff. Really excited to be here, and really be a part of something special.
When they pitched you the vision of the job, and when you were looking at it, what was a sketch of kind of what they wanted you to bring to the offense?
Yeah, just another set of ideas, and again, they've had a lot of success here, and I'm really excited to be a part of that and try to add value. And again, we haven't spent a lot of time, discussing, the plan moving forward. But again, I know it's a great opportunity for family to be here and be a part of something special.
How similar is, Zach was talking about you yesterday, and there's a lot of similarities in the language of the Vikings offense and the Bengals, just all coming from the Rams. But how different and how similar is it from your perspective, having now dove in a little bit on the Bengals side?
Yeah, it's very similar. The core philosophies are the same. But what all the guys have done a great job of that have branched out from LA is kind of making it their own, building it around, obviously you want to start with the quarterback, and then, the pieces around the quarterback, the offensive line, tight ends, receivers, running backs. So I think all these guys have done a really good job of that. Coming from Minnesota, we with CJ Ham, we had a fullback, we had multiple tight ends. So you saw, the last couple of years we played in a lot of 12, 21, 22 personnel. So again, it's a credit to all the guys that have branched out and made it their own, and it's a credit to them, and to fit the offense to their skill set of what they have, so again, excited to be here and really look forward to this opportunity.
When you look at what makes an offensive, a passing attack really effective in your mind, what are the biggest things, aside from just having the right personnel, that enables an offense to really pass at a high level?
Yeah, it takes all 11 to do their job consistently, and obviously it starts with the quarterback and doing what he's comfortable with. But obviously Zach has done a great job of that with Joe and the receivers and tight ends and running backs that we have here. So again, really look forward to diving into that and moving forward to the off-season program as we get ready for training camp.
One thing they believe in here is everybody has a voice, but you also want to have an informed voice, a strong voice. What's the fine line for you of wanting to have a voice in that offensive room?
Yeah, again, it's a great staff with a lot of experience. We've had a lot of success here, and again, just excited to be a part of that and to see where I fit in. And again, we haven't really dove into that much yet. It's still early on, but again, I know it's just a great opportunity for me to grow as a coach and to be, a part of something special, and to join this coaching staff and this team and this organization. Just really excited about it.
Have you talked to Joe at all yet, Joe?
Briefly, saw him in the office last week. He was in working out, just introduced myself, talked to him for a few minutes. So really excited to get to know him and work with him, and I know he's having a good off season.
What have you spent your time doing? Have you been studying Bengals tape or already preparing for the draft?
Right. A lot of the first week I kind of dove into our current roster and probably watched 10 or 11 games, and then quickly from there moved on to free agency and started diving into watching free agents, and then now working on the draft. So it's been a busy few weeks. It's been a lot of fun trying to balance everything out and at the same time try to get my family moved to Cincinnati. So it's been fun.
From your first initial impression or evaluation of the offense, just what's the biggest thing that stands out when you look at the playmakers that we have?
Yeah, we have a lot of them, and I know Zach and Dan have done a great job building this system around the quarterback, and obviously Joe does a great job of getting the ball to those playmakers, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. This roster is extremely talented with a good group of guys, so I'm really excited to be a part of it.
What were some guys that you were coming up and really learned how to coach that really made a big impact on you and made you kind of say, these are the kind of coaches I want to aspire to be when I end up, becoming one?
Yeah, I was extremely blessed as a player and as a young coach to be around some phenomenal coaches. As a player, playing for John L. Smith and Bobby Petrino at University of Louisville, then going on to James Madison, playing for Coach Matthews and Jeff Durden. So I was very blessed as a player to be around some really talented offensive minds. And then getting into coaching, a lot of friends in this business I've worked with and really leaned on through the years. Dave Ragone is a really good friend of mine. We were teammates at Louisville and actually coached high school football together. So he's been a huge mentor for me. And then 3 years in Denver with Mike Munchak was awesome. Learned a ton of football from him. The way he prepares, the way he interacts with his players. There's so much to learn from a guy like that. He's a Hall of Fame player. He's been an NFL head coach and one of the most well-respected offensive line coaches in this league. So, and then my time in Minnesota, those guys were great. Working with Kevin was phenomenal. Learned a ton from him and really appreciate, the opportunity he gave me, the last 2 years.
Prior to this year, there hadn't been a lot of change on the Bengals coaching staff. Did you get the impression, talking to Zach, that he was eager to see what new, fresh ideas you might be able to bring to the mix?
Yeah, it was great going through the interview process with Zach and Dan, and really enjoyed to get to know those guys and kind of what their plan is moving forward. And again, my wife and I are really excited to be a part of such a special place and a group of coaches and a team full of talented players. So excited to get started, once we get through the draft and get ready for the off-season program.
Do you, just following up on what you're talking about with your offensive line background, I know as the passing games coordinator, you're going to be focused a lot on passing game, but do you get the sense that you'll be involved in working with Frank Pollock in the run game and putting the protection plan together?
Yeah, again, we haven't went through all of that, but I do know the background with the offensive line has been huge for me in my career, my development. I always tell people I wish I did this 10 years ago before I called plays in college football. It's just so much goes into it up front. You like to think that the games are won, at the line of scrimmage. And so, yeah, diving into the run game and the protection plan the last, 5 years of my career has been huge for me. And I look forward to using that knowledge and that experience, here.
One theme has been explosive plays over the past couple of years. Dan just mentioned it a bunch of times. What's the best way to create more explosive plays? I know there's a bunch of different ways, but how do you view it?
Yeah, for us in Minnesota, I think we were, top 5 in the league in explosives, if I remember right. But I think a big part of that is, again, all 11 being involved, doing their job, having weapons on the outside, having a quarterback that can distribute the ball on time. And but I really think it stems from, the marriage of the run and pass. If you can get your run game going and then have the play action pass off of that to create, the coverages and the one-on-one matchups you want on the outside. And so I thought we did a really good job of that in Minnesota.
How much did you hear from Justin Jefferson about what Jamar Chase was like, and did that ever come up?
It hasn't. When I took this job, I haven't actually seen JJ since I got here. But JJ was great to work with. Such a competitor. Works really hard. A lot of fun to coach. And I'm just again excited to be around the weapons we have here because I know we have a lot of them.
It's interesting because Justin had such a great start to his career, one of the most unprecedented runs early in his career. When did you get the sense that he was really that good and that he had a chance to be really one of the top receivers in the league?
Yeah, he's a dominant player because to me it's the way he works and prepares every single day. And I think he came into a great opportunity in Minnesota, and with Kevin coming on board and the system and the ways we moved him around and took advantage of matchups. I think really was a perfect fit for JJ. But yeah, JJ's obviously extremely talented, but he works really hard, and football is really important to him.
What position groups will you be looking at for free agency in the draft?
Oh, I'm looking at all of them, so it's just trying to find the guys that fit what our needs are. And again, that's a long process. It's just now starting. So, we'll just continue those conversations these next few weeks and see what happens.
There's a lot of good receivers in this draft, and sometimes we don't always see great college receivers translate to being great NFL receivers. Being around the game as long as you have, what is that difference that makes guys who are really good college players really great NFL receivers?
Yeah, it is a great draft class, but really guys that can come in and have the ability to learn the system and to be able to play fast, like you see, on their college tape, go out there and play with confidence. And so yeah, it's again a talented group. It seems like every year there's a good group of receivers, that can come in and have a major impact early.
When you were in Minnesota, you guys added TJ Hawkinson at tight end. When you add a dynamic tight end like that, how does it change things? Because obviously you had weapons on the outside.
Right. It really helps. It's a huge stress for the defense to have to defend multiple guys in the pass game. So, in Minnesota, having 2 or 3 receivers, coupled with a tight end like TJ was huge for us, especially on the weighty downs, whether it was third down or in the red zone. It just forced the defense's hand a little bit. We just knew we could find a matchup between one of the 3 guys on the perimeter.
What's your lasting memory from the December game at Paycor Stadium against the Bengals?
Yeah, it was a tough loss for us that day, but it was just two great teams. It was an awesome game. Went back and forth, and obviously the turnovers were a big issue for us in Minnesota. But yeah, it was a great game. I'm sure the fans really enjoyed it, and but yeah, we're excited to be here and ready for the off-season program to start.
Have you ever seen a catch like TJ at the end of that game?
Yeah, that was phenomenal. Obviously, he's a great player, one of the best in the league. So it doesn't surprise me. But yeah, that was a great catch and a big play in that game, obviously.